Y'all come back now. It's day 39 and it's Cletus here and I'm still isolated. What I want y'all to tell me is how many y'all been injecting disinfectant? Yeah? Y'all been doing that? I got a friend and he said that you can take a Clorox enema. Oh, I want to bare my butt for that one. Hell, I think there's even ladies out there who are specializing in Clorox enemas. Did you see our valiant president? He's had his Clorox enema. Hail to the chief, I reckon. Hell, it won't be long before we beat this virus like we saw off them goddamn Cubans and their goddamn missiles in 1962, where, well, hell, they were gonna destroy the free world. Now, Mr. President, they're sending out face masks, PPE, gowns, equipment. They're even sending out people to help around the world in the coronavirus 19 pandemic. Amazing, those Cubans, aren't they? Isn't it incredible? Yeah, but you won't think about them Germans. Them Germans killed all them Jews. That's for hell of a sure. We know that, Cletus. But believe it or not, the war finished a very long time ago. Yeah? And them Germans, or Germains, are doing better than Great Britain in dealing with their pandemic. Those lovely people who were behind Aldi and Lidl and where we get a lot of our shopping, in fact. Thank you, Aldi. Thank you, Lidl. Those wonderful people behind those shops are actually slowly but surely beginning to unlock their society. And do you know what, Cletus and President Trump? Very few Germans have died of COVID-19. Even in the extremely vulnerable groups, which are, of course, people over 60, people with pre-existing conditions, like my diabetes, like somebody else's COPD. Well, even as the Germans are starting to unlock, news is looking pretty good. News is looking pretty good. Do you ever wonder, Mr. Johnson and President Trump, do you ever wonder if your desire to protect the economy and to protect the rich, to protect the hedge funders and the billionaires, do you ever kind of wonder if your desire to protect them, who were protected enough anyway through their money effectively, they don't even have to come into contact with ordinary people. They can live their lives locked down. Could you imagine dear old Bozo at the moment, locked down in that mansion where he is? He probably plans breakfast in one stateroom. Now, if he fancied a little bit of elevensies, yeah, perhaps even Bozo the racist clown. 11 o'clock, remember, Cletus, this is Great Britain. 11 o'clock, perhaps even Bozo. Perhaps he has tea in the drawing room. Perhaps he can choose to sleep in a variety of bedrooms. And perhaps he has dinner, which actually is the correct name for the evening meal, in a massive dining room with silver service, of course, with the best cutlery, of course, with plates pots and china, most likely Wedgwood, and chandelier probably twinkling above, and cut glass to drink the Beaujolais from. And then perhaps just at lunchtime, before he does retire to any one of numerous bedrooms, perhaps at lunchtime he has luncheon, for it is not called dinner. The correct term for the midday meal is lunch or luncheon. Do you know in the Second World War we had luncheon clubs? Where does Boris take luncheon? Do you think we'll ever find out? Do you think he'll do a lockdown video like me so we can see where he takes lunch? Oh dear. We are supposed to be expecting Boris back on Monday. Hopefully he's been still sending in his sick notes to the DWP. I take it Boris has to send in a sick note, doesn't he? Yeah? I mean, maybe he just gives it directly to Ian Duncan Smith, or perhaps Dominic Cummings brings his sick note in for him. And it says something like, terribly sorry, Boris can't attend Parliament today because he's busy recuperating, and unfortunately he's not fit. Do you think we'll see Boris on Monday? I don't know. We might not. I'll tell you one thing we certainly won't see on Monday, though. This is an absolute promise. We won't, whether Boris is back or not, we won't see the massive figure that relates to people who have genuinely, sadly, died as a result of coronavirus in this country. You see, we won't see that figure. It will just be, it won't be there. If it was radio, it would be dead air. That proper figure won't be announced. It will just be dead air. Quiet background static. Nothing on the screen except for deaths in hospitals. So far, according to the Financial Times and other leading newspapers, over 21 to 23,000 people have died as a result of coronavirus in our care homes. That would take our own total death toll to somewhere in the region of 44 to 45,000, sort of estimating on those predictions so far. And if I'm not wrong, I think only recently America's death toll was 53,000, Cletus. Hell no it wasn't, that's just fake news. We ain't had that many people die. We're going to get more people die when they start injecting Clorox. Yes, Cletus, we know. Okay? And we have a president that will always go on about fake news. People are still dying. Of course they are. More people are dying than necessary. And why don't we actually know the scientists who are on wise old Sage? What a lovely name, Sage. He was a wise old sage. Oh, very saged type. Yes, he was a wise old sage. Not parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Not that kind of sage, if you see what I mean. But we're not going to find out. And we hear also of the government firing people who back Trump's science. Trump might be having a seance. Is there anybody there? Said the president. AB baby, are you there, AB baby? Even honest Abe wouldn't be like Trump. For honest Abe would not tell a lie. And Honest Abe wouldn't then backtrack on what he'd said and pretend it was only a prank. The most powerful man in the world said that he said something because it was only a prank. And then people have to come on after him and say, please don't do this. Don't inject disinfectant. Don't drink bleach. Probably don't even do bleach enemas. Don't do it. It'll kill you. Why, for so many years now, has stupidity been promoted as a virtue? Why? I spent years and feel as though I am still learning and want to learn till I'm no longer breathing. I spent my whole life. I continue to learn. I try not to be willfully ignorant. Why has ignorance been promoted as a virtue? Why is it suddenly okay? And why does suddenly my pig ignorance seem to matter more than what a qualified scientist or a doctor or a researcher or somebody like that might say? But no, in pig ignorance, I can come on and go, well, hell, I don't believe that. I'm going to go get that Clorox enema, and there's that lady down the road. God, she even charges for it. Sure, this is going to be fun. Oh, lube up there, boys. Cletus is coming. And with that, Britons, I wish you farewell on day 39.